Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back again to another video. I hope, as always, that you guys are always having a beautiful day, always filled with love and peace, and just always good vibes, good energy, and just feeling a sense of wholeness always. And beyond just feeling all these things and experiencing all these things, that you may also just already be at one with your true self. Be at one with the divine, with God, with nature. And that's what these videos are all about. Helping us to connect with our deepest roots, our deepest heart, our highest conscience, true being, and letting go of all these personal identities that keep us trapped in these lower consciousness and lower frequencies that, raise all these suffering and all this despair and just all this confusion that everybody goes through all the time. And that's the point. That's the point of this channel, to discover our true self and finally be free. So, how do we do this? And it's very simple, actually. It is so simple that we've always missed it because it's that simple. We always overcomplicate things, We want our mind, we want the answer according to how our mind thinks it wants the answer. And that's what makes it hard. That we're trying to solve this puzzle of getting rid of this mental, personal self that creates all these problems through its own interpretation and its own solution. And that seems to be a paradox there, because in order for us to truly get rid of it, all we have to do is observe it. So it is, we cannot understand God and nature through the filters of the mind. We have to completely observe the mind, and there is a sense there. There is a being there that is just there. There's a consciousness, there is a life that is just present, that is present right now, that can see and hear without needing to see and hearing. Without needing to try to see, and without needing to trying to hear, and trying to understand, and trying to connect to God, and trying to connect to nature. There's this essence of who you are and who I am that's already there, connected to these things, that is these things. And we have to peel the layers back and observe from this point of subtlety. It's so subtle. And all we have to continue to do is revert to the conscience that just is conscience, the awareness that is just aware. You're not trying to be aware. You're not trying to be conscious. You're not trying. There's no doing. There is a life, and your true self is already existence itself. To simply exist as its purest natural way, without anything else. That is it. And from that point, connected and centered in your heart, and it's actually not even connected and centered anywhere. It's everywhere. It's not, the only reason I say connected to your heart and your center is because that's kind of like the portal that it enters through into the physical realm, into this physical reality, into this body and mind and this physical experience. But it's beyond just centering in the heart and in the you know, inner space, because it's in every space. That's the funny part, that it's everywhere, and at the same time it's nowhere also. It's everywhere and nowhere. It is simply just the existence that you exist through. It's very simple, and I'm so happy that we are able to peel away all these layers of thoughts and emotions and identities and attachments and just all these things that we feel and think that cause us to think that life should be in a certain way. And that's what it is. Like, we've been used to and programmed to think that we need to have control of our lives, that we need to have a plan, that we need to be doing something, that everything is doing, and that causes the mind to get activated. That causes this logical, I need to strategize my doing so I can be spiritual or be happy or be successful or all these things. And we actually get lost in that doing. We get lost in that, person strategizing and planning, and a lot of the times is we actually hold on to this level of wanting to have control for the sake of safety, because we feel afraid. We feel like, insecurities of life. How am I going to survive? How am I going to feed myself? How am I going to communicate with people? How am I going to feel sane to other people? And it's all these insecurities that rise this ego or this personality to play these roles so that you can seem normal. But that's just in the human way, but not in the spiritual true self. And it is very simple to come back, and it is only the mind, our last and final attachments and our last and final habits that keep triggering us, that are very subtle, that we could even become very spiritual, and the ego can be spiritual too. The ego can be humble, and it always takes greater levels of maturity and patience to see from the space of just seeing without needing to see. And it's beautiful that we're all getting this. It's so amazing. It continues to just fill my heart with so much love and joy, and it makes this life worth it. It makes this life worth it that there's other people out there doing this work and returning home, and we're able to have this connection of my true self and your true self, and taking away all these egos and expectations and judgments, and it's like I can be myself truly, bear it all out, and just let it be, and you can do the same, and it's okay. We actually support each other even more so. We actually connect even more so. We actually even nurture our relationship even more so, and everything just connects and makes sense, and you feel it when you're in that space of unity with someone physically, when you're not even thinking, things are just flowing and happening. And it's so amazing. It's so amazing to live in this life, in this true expression. And that's it. That's life. That's heaven on earth. That's everything to me, and everything that is, and everything else. That's why I always say everything else is just an illusion, because we create these stories and create these other realities with our thoughts and emotions, and we pay attention and let it drift there, and then we forget this presence, we forget this essence, we forget this space of just consciousness and awareness, and we dive into a whole slew of problems and confusions, and you know all of that. And I'm just so happy to be on this path of love and peace, and continuing to wake up every day in this space, because I don't know what's gonna happen today. I can just you start to enjoy life for its simplicity, and you're not so caught up in the rat race of all these things that I need to be doing this and be doing that to prove this to this person and that. It's just it's a lot of work. It's so much work and so much draining on you that it's really not sustainable. And that's why we only live, you know 60, 70, 80 years, when back in the days in the Bible they used to live hundreds of years. And I'm sure there's other things that tie into that, but I'm for sure certain that our state of well-being, our plays into that longevity and into this physical reality. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. I love you guys so much. Peace, peace, peace always be with you, within you. Much love as always. Amitabha. Namaste. Om.